Hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back. If you are new, I'll just tell you that my name is Deidre and I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's earlier this year around February. In the end of February, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's. I had been dealing with symptoms for who knows how long, but I definitely noticed the severity of my symptoms last November. So I have a video, I'll link that so you can see kind of where I was at, what my symptoms were. I posted that video right after I found out that I had Hashimoto's. So today I wanted to update you guys with a little bit of an update of where I'm at now. This is kind of what I'm considering phase one in my rehabilitation journey. I don't know what you might call it. So let me just rehash what my symptoms were. I was having headaches and migraines almost daily, which was super weird for me. I was having just like brain fog, and I couldn't like remember things, like loss of concentration type of thing. And I was also really struggling to lose weight. I was having crazy acne and some other things as well. Some of those symptoms are much less. Some of them have gone away for the most part, and some of them are still pretty prevalent. I would say my acne is a slight bit better. Before it was like constant acne, so which was different for me. It had not been that way for me in quite a while, but I was having constant acne back in like November, December, January. Now I still get a few spots. I don't do anything to hide them, so you always know when I have acne, but I will get a few spots. It's not as bad as it used to be. Headaches is very few and far between. I might get 1 or 2 a month instead of daily, and then occasionally getting migraines. And as far as weight, I have lost about 10 pounds since getting on medication and following a little bit of the diet and lifestyle that I'm doing now. So from like March, April, May, June, so about a little over 4 months, I've lost 10 pounds, which before I was dieting, exercising, doing whatever, and gaining weight. So pretty big difference. And then as far as brain fog and concentration, I can tell it's still there, but it's not disrupting my life how it used to. I was forgetting words that like I would use every day, or names that I have known forever, and I just like would forget them for no reason. So all of my symptoms are at least a little bit better. I have other symptoms and stuff as well. A lot of those have probably gone away because I honestly can't even remember most of them. So we're definitely very happy about that. But I just kind of wanted to share what I've been doing. First things first, I started, well, my doctor diagnosed me and then gave me a thyroid supplement. So I've been taking that every day for the past 4.5 months. And then I've been reading this book. I'm reading it super slowly, as you can see. Like I'm only like 1/8 of the way through or something like that. But I am taking everything in this with a grain of salt. I've heard things about this author and things about this book that it feels like people are just trying to push a bunch of supplements on you and cost a lot of money and stuff. But I've also heard people say that this basically sent them into full remission. So I'm reading it, but I'm reading it slowly. I'm only taking the parts I want to, and I'm leaving the parts that I don't want. So I'll let you guys know where I'm at with that. So she recommends, the author of this book recommends cutting out all kinds of things, not only from your diet, but from your lifestyle. So from like gluten, dairy, caffeine, refined sugar, to things like BPAs, fluoride, chlorine, things like that. I'm kind of taking this in phases, so I'm trying to handle more of like the diet stuff right now. I will say we are a family, me and my husband are just the type of people that we make a lot of things from scratch. We try to stay away from processed foods. We don't tend to keep tons of plastic around the house. We don't have like a reverse osmosis water filter. We would love to get one day, but we're also hoping to move soon. So we're probably gonna wait to install one until we move. Part of that is just, that's not a priority for us monetarily right now. And part of it is just that we don't want to have to do it twice. So that's kind of like how I'm splitting it up, is like a big chunk of diet. And then I would like to do, she has like a protocol that's like, I don't know, you do like 6 weeks of a liver cleanse, and then 2 weeks of an adrenal cleanse, and then 6 weeks or something, 4 weeks, I don't know, of a gut cleanse. I am considering doing that starting next January. I'm not positive I will, but it's something I'm considering doing at a later time, and then tackling kind of the smaller things, kind of the more lifestyle, chemical exposure, toxin, that type of stuff. That's just the way I'm choosing to break it down. But again, I've seen huge progress and results from what I've been doing so far. So the main thing is I'm reducing as much as I can gluten and dairy. I have cut out gluten before, and back when I was like 12 for 2 years, and I hated it. Obviously there are a lot more alternatives now than there used to be, but like my husband and I, we really like to travel, we really like to go out to eat, we like to eat out with friends, and so we love eating over at people's houses, and I'm just not willing to totally compromise my social life and my enjoyment to do this diet. I'm just not there. I do what I can when I can. So when we're at home, we try to completely cut out gluten, for the most part dairy. We still have like butter and cheese here and there, but I try to just reduce the amount. And then caffeine, I've tried switching mostly to decaf, but I also have like 20 bags of coffee in my pantry, so I'll switch when I switch, I guess. And then refined sugar and other refined grains, we're trying to cut out where we can, but nothing is 100%. It's all kind of give and take. So one of the things that we're really doing for gluten is, obviously we're trying to substitute for non-gluten things like corn tortillas instead of flour tortillas, or rice instead of noodles, or things like that. But we're trying to stay away from refined grains in general as well, which means we're often actually going for like gluten-free bread. My preference right now is sourdough. My husband has sourdough starters. He's had them for years. Now we're just trying to make everything with sourdough, or we use gluten-free flour. So that's kind of where we are with the gluten. Sourdough has a much reduced amount of gluten in it compared to regular bread or things made with like all-purpose flour, bread flour, wheat flour, all of that stuff. I will also throw in there that if you are willing to, like if you shop at Whole Foods a ton, they actually have ancient grain pasta. So it's kind of a more modern, by modern I mean like the past couple hundred years, phenomenon that our wheat is so high in gluten. It used to not be that way. And so there are some ancient grains that still are around today that don't have a super high gluten index. And I know you can get pasta and just the flour and stuff from different places, one of them being Whole Foods. So if that interests you, then you can do that as well. So for dairy, I've been drinking almond milk for a really, really long time. We just got back from church camp. And if you've watched one of my recent videos and you're like, didn't she just say that like a month ago she just got back from church camp? Yeah, I went to 2 weeks this year, so about a month apart. So it's also why my voice is slightly gone. But since we just got back from church camp, we decided to go ahead and buy an almond milk because it takes so long to expire. We knew we could have it before church camp as well as after. Whereas we tend to make our own almond milk. And again, just trying to make as much stuff from scratch we can, keep away from the preservatives and artificial things. And we just know it's better when we make it, and it's a slight bit cheaper as well. But I've been drinking almond milk for years. We've tried making our own oat milk. We've tried making our own almond milk, and we just prefer almond milk for a lot of things. So that's what we tend to make. Yeah, this creamer is really good. The Califia Farms creamer. I also enjoy the ones from like dairy-free from like, I don't know, the Coffee Mate, the Kroger brand's fine, Starbucks is fine, Nut Pods are fine, Silk brand creamer is fine. I don't like Planet Oat. It tastes like a little bit like cereal milk, but it also like just has, I don't know, it just tastes very artificial to me. I'm not a fan of that. I'm very picky when it comes to yogurt. But I love the Cocoa June. They have a few different flavors, and all the ones I've tried I really like. And then the Kite Hill, I think I've only ever tried their vanilla, but I like it. I also love, probably my favorite is Icelandic Provisions. These two you can get from Kroger. Icelandic Provisions I've only ever seen at Whole Foods. But those are kind of the ones that I like. I don't love the So Delicious or Silk or any of that. But speaking of So Delicious, the So Delicious non-dairy cashew milk ice cream is my favorite. So I think I've tried a couple of different brands of cashew milk ice cream, and it's so good. So I've never tried cashew milk in anything else, but for the ice cream, it's amazing. So those are kind of my recommendations. Obviously everybody likes different things, but I've tried quite a few, and some things are just better than others, you know? Oh yeah, I also will say, I think I tried this, the Moana Lau macadamia milk coffee, and I'm not sure if it's the macadamia nuts or if it's just the brand of ice cream, but I don't love that one. That's why it's still in there, because I haven't finished it. So as far as sugar alternatives, we do tons of maple syrup, we do tons of honey. This is local honey from a local farm. It comes in a quart-sized jar, and he charges us, I think, $15 for this. So it's cheaper than what you can get from the store, better quality, and it's made from local bees, local flowers, which means that your body does a lot better job resisting pollen and allergens when you take local honey. So I drink this in my coffee every day. The maple syrup we use a ton, and then pure cane sugar if we need like an actual sugar type of thing. Pure cane sugar we do. I've never tried like monk fruit and things like that, or even stevia. I haven't really tried those that much, but I'm definitely willing to. It's just that I love these three things, so I haven't seen a need to branch out yet. Oh, by the way, speaking of like things that we kind of would buy from the store, we do tend to buy gluten-free pasta. So again, I try to veer away from ones that are made from like rice, potatoes, corn, things like that. And I try to go for ones that are made from like lentils or chickpeas or vegetables like zucchini or squash or whatever they make them out of. I try to do those types of things because especially if it's made out of vegetables, I get more vegetables every day. But also because my body just breaks that down a lot easier. So honestly, doing this switch, I haven't found that difficult. It's only difficult when I'm at people's house or I'm not home. But like at church camp that we just went to, we took sourdough buns with us. And so then when they had a hamburger, I put it on my sourdough bun. Or when they had a chicken sandwich, I put it on my sourdough bun. Yeah, the chicken was breaded. It was made in oil. We try to avoid like canola oil, vegetable oil, things like that. We try to only use like coconut oil or olive oil, sometimes like avocado oil, things like that. At camp, there was a lot of things that I ate that I really probably shouldn't have because the oil or the gluten or the dairy or the sugar or whatever, but like I had to eat. I was there for 8 days, so I had to eat, and I couldn't bring an entire cooler worth of food for the entire week. So I just brought like sourdough buns. That was super helpful. And I brought my own milk and coffee creamer. So it worked. It wasn't perfect, but you know, it is what it is. Sometimes you just kind of have to do the best you can. And here's the other thing too. I don't know that I would actually want to go 100% gluten-free or dairy-free, because then if I'm ever in a situation where I have to eat gluten or dairy, it's going to be a lot harder. But I will also say we actually just had gone out to ice cream with our friends on Sunday, and I was just like weak from camp and everything, and I was just like, that's fine, let's just go get ice cream. And I knew I had dairy-free ice cream at home, but they were like, no, it's like a local place and it's so good. And so we really wanted to go try it, and I got way more ice cream than I should have. And I felt the effects of that for like 3 days, which is bizarre because I'm not even 100% dairy-free, and I haven't even been doing that for this long. So I'm trying to kind of keep myself from getting to that point. But, you know, it's not easy. you know, you want to do your best to not eat the gluten, and I don't know, it's hard for me to sometimes know like where the line is. Okay, so I feel a little bit silly because I'm in the kitchen and I have my apron on because I was going to show you guys how I make this like treat that sometimes I have for breakfast, sometimes I have for dessert, sometimes I have for snacks, and I took some of it with me to camp. It's like a chocolate chia seed like pudding, and it is very close to a pudding texture, and it's one of my favorite like snacks that I actually started making it way before I was ever gluten or dairy free, but I eat it a lot more now. But I actually don't have enough chia seeds, which is bizarre because we always have enough chia seeds, so it's kind of a bummer, but I'll just tell you guys how I make it. I will make it later and throw a little clip of it in here so you can see what it looks like, but it's really good. I like to eat it with strawberries or whipped cream on top. Obviously I can't have whipped cream anymore, but I think we've also experimented making whipped cream with coconut cream, which was good, so that's potential. But anyway, so you just take 2 cups of milk. I use almond milk. I've always used almond milk to make it. I'm not sure if it's good with any other kind of milk, but I use almond milk, so 2 cups. And then you're gonna do 1/4 cup of chia seeds plus 2 tablespoons. And you're just mixing this all together in one bowl. You're gonna take a 1/3 cup of cocoa powder. We use all Dutch process cocoa powder. It's better for you. It's more like nutrient dense and tastes a lot better, and it's not as processed. So we do that, and then you're gonna add like a teaspoon of vanilla extract. We make this ourselves, and then a pinch of sugar, and then you're also gonna use maple syrup to sweeten. I usually use between 1/4 and 1/3 of a cup, depending on how sweet I want it. I think I usually go more for like 1/4 of a cup. Then you're just gonna literally throw that all in the bowl, whisk it all together, and then you put the bowl in the fridge covered for 30 minutes. When that's done, you're gonna whisk it again, let it sit in the fridge for 15 minutes, and then you're gonna whisk it one more time and then eat it in 4 to 6 hours. And I have a huge sweet tooth. I especially crave things like ice creams, puddings, just things that are like creamy and cold and delicious and sweet. That's what I crave all the time. So this definitely helps with that craving. And oh yeah, I also, let me just throw in here a couple other meal ideas that we love to make. So last night we had lamb meatballs, and it has like things in it like garlic and onions and things like that. And then we make this Greek salad with tomatoes, cucumbers, red onions, and then I can put the little recipe for it down below because I don't remember it off the top of my head, but the way, like the things that we put in it, like the marinade or whatever, it makes it taste so, so good. And then we also make roast potatoes. We try to not do tons of potatoes, but sometimes we have to do what we have to do. So we make roast potatoes with that. Other things we do, we still make like a Cajun pasta dish, fettuccine Alfredo dish, spaghetti, a lemon chicken pasta. We make all of those with gluten-free noodles, so that's an easy switch. And then any of them that need cream, like the sauces sometimes need cream, we just put coconut cream. It's beautiful, it's delicious. Other things that we like to make are, we make chicken wings with sourdough discard. So instead of like making like a batter to dip the chicken in, we dip it in like a sourdough discard. I think that he adds a little bit more water to it though to make it a better consistency. We fry it up in olive oil, and it's really, really good. And then just in general, we try to eat as many vegetables as possible. I try to have salads with a lot of my meals, especially if there's no vegetables like spaghetti. There's no vegetables really in the spaghetti, maybe some onion, but usually not. So we try to make a salad. And with that, for lunch, I eat a lot of baby carrots and cucumbers and red peppers. We just try to do what we can to increase our vegetable intake a lot. It helps with kind of curbing our appetite, so we're not just eating so many grains and pastas and things like that. So I just try to eat as many fruits as I can, eat as many vegetables as I can. And then other than that, the only other lifestyle change I've made is that, well, we've always tried to go on walks, like 20 to 30 minute walks forever. Like as long as I've been married, we've been doing this. But recently I've been trying to like push myself to go further in the 30 minutes. And a lot of days we walk 45 minutes or even an hour. Also, just spending time outside naturally is going to get my body moving a little bit more. I'm not sitting on the couch as much, so we try to get outside as much as possible. I actually have, if you're interested, I have little trackers that are like for each month. We've kind of broken it down so that it's between 70 and 100 hours per month that you're trying to spend outside to get to a total of 1,000 hours in a year. So if you're interested in looking into that, or actually we personally use them as half an hour increments, so we're just trying to get to 500 in a year. That's just what works with our lifestyle. So I've also found that that's been super helpful in just keeping me and my family active. So if you're interested in that, there's always a link to my website in the description, and they're on there. They're completely free, so go ahead and check it out. You just print them off, you download them, print them off, and then you get to coloring. Oh, one more thing. I can't believe I was supposed to say this literally first. When my blood tests came up, I was deficient in iron and a lot of vitamins. So I now take a multivitamin every day. I take vitamin D every week, and I take iron. I try to remember to take iron every day at dinner. And so if you're taking iron and you're taking a thyroid supplement, just make sure you don't take them within 4 hours of each other. But other than that, 30 minutes after I take my thyroid medicine, I eat my breakfast, I take my multivitamins, and I don't take anything fancy. My vitamin D is prescribed to me by my doctor. My iron, I just take whatever the cheapest thing is, and the multivitamin we buy from Aldi. So super cheap. So that's what we do. Those are the only lifestyle changes that I've made since learning that I have Hashimoto's, and I have experienced great relief in my symptoms, and I really hope that you guys will experience relief in your symptoms as well. If you want to follow along in my Hashimoto's journey, I plan to kind of update you guys a few times a year, just how everything is going. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss those videos. And if you wanted to see where my journey started, make sure you watch that video that I linked earlier. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.